Okay, 3 in the morning while I'm recording this. Why? Because I'm stupid. To start off this insomnia-driven review, Harley Quinn gets dumped by the Joker. And for some reason this time he really fucking means it. I don't know, they don't really focus on it a lot. Harley's out on her own for the first time in a while, which I thought was a really, cool and funny concept. As much as people were annoyed about getting a Harley Quinn-centered movie, I was kind of stoked to get the idea of the character like that. A character that's always been considered the sidekick of the greatest villain ever at the center stage. First off, this movie's got absolutely zero subtlety to it. It's mostly got to do with the fact that you got your main character talking directly to camera. And, when you have characters breaking the fourth wall like that, it's always going to be more of a tell and not show. So whereas sometimes you have a director or a type of film will use a scalpel, this movie uses a fucking sledgehammer for surgery. And it works for this type of movie with these types of characters and this type of feel. It works for the movie. But the problem with that entails is it's going to have a super uneven flow. The first half of this movie is really like rocky. It's like a fucking bumpy road. And the time is all shifted. And yeah, it's supposed to bounce back and forth between time because that's how, unique and quirky it is. I wasn't much of a fan of it. It kind of really threw me off for at least the first half. The second half is a lot more cohesive, tells more of a connected story. Whereas the first one kind of, it's like, they have that whole thing of people walking down the street at the same time. They don't know each other, but they're involved in some way. It came off a little messy in the beginning, but it definitely caught up to itself. The first half is full of, introductions and character like title sequences that I'm not necessarily a fan of. I really like it when some things can be said without having to be said. But it works for the movie because the style of the movie is, fucking a punch in the nose. I'm just personally not a fan of when someone comes onto screen and it's a freeze frame that's like, that guy there, that's Timmy Two Toes. He got that nickname because he got 2 toes on each foot. And it's not really my thing. That it's just like that. It adds a lot more time to something that's not pushing the story forward. No real development to it. Just a couple of, jokes here and there. Now, moving on from that to something infinitely more awesome and that definitely carries the movie is the fight and the action sequences, dude. They're fucking wild. They're some of the most unique and, elaborate action sequences I've seen in most comic book movies. They're so strange and, interconnected that they go down these different routes that you never expect, and it really makes it stand out compared to other movies. Harley, Black Canary, Huntress, Montoya, they all have their own fighting style, and it really fucking shows on screen when you're watching them all in those interconnected action sequences. Oh, I almost had that one. Fuck. I'm gonna leave it in. The visuals remind me of old, kung fu movies where you have real quick cutting and you have these prolonged, one takes, and then you have awesome slow-mo and super zoom in, quick zoom fucking shots where it shows expressions and stuff like that. And it just makes it stand out. You don't see a lot of that often now. And it's super practical. And I mean, fucking Chad Stahelski really brought it for this. It's not like the John Wick fight sequences, which I think is really smart that they didn't, fucking exactly mirror the style and the technique. It gave them their own style and technique for the fight sequences, and it really paid off. It all adds this, specific wild and insane aesthetic that they're really reaching for, and they fucking meet. And that's only made better by the soundtrack. I mean, each transition from one scene to the next is fueled by this awesome carrying tune and these awesome songs that it fucking electrifies everything. You're really fucking sticking to the screen because of the way it maneuvers through everything. The movie does, however, contain the least looking Gotham City in any DC Comics adaptation to a movie ever. I mean, they didn't even try to fucking disguise Los Angeles. Chop a fucking palm tree down and, put up a giant strip club sign or some shit. You fucking at least, make it look grimy and not like fucking Sunset Boulevard, Now, onto the performances. Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie, it's the same person at this point. I mean, she's literally encapsulates this awesome character of Harley so well. So many fucking layers from her being a wicked fucking kind of asshole to her being a compassionate, almost person, that deep-rooted Harleen in her, I love watching her break through out of her like super heavy accent to give like some legitimate psychological advice or facts. It just adds a lot more depth to the character and a lot more history that Suicide Squad had a little bit of, and this one just kind of it helped a lot more with that. She was super charming and hilarious and definitely fucking annoying. And I think it was just really cool to see her take the character solo like this. Definitely one of the best casting decisions ever. Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. Fucking ever. Journey Smollett-Bell as Black Canary brought a really cool performance to a character that was not fleshed out enough, I thought. We're not given enough, I think, with a character as awesome as Black Canary, who's got, depending on whatever source you want to look towards, or if you want to create your own, she's got a really interesting history to her. And if you don't kind of play with that, the actor's performance is, if that's the only thing that really redeems the character, it kind of undercuts it a little bit. You want a little more depth to a character, especially like Black Canary. They sort of chalk it up to Sionis hired her to sing at his club when no one else would hire her, I guess. And I don't know, they create this weird intimate connection between Sionis and her. Like he trusts her to sing at his club, and she trusts him because even though she's seen him do like awful things, he's giving her a job, and I don't know. They don't really think about it a lot. I think they made that connection between her and Black Mask because they just needed a reason for her, like later in the movie, for her to betray him. And so now he wants to kill her along with the rest of them. There's not enough weight behind that for me to kind of, feel invested with that. But dude, that fucking Canary cry, I want to see more. Rosie Perez as Renee Montoya was fine. She delivered on, the seasoned veteran cop that I guess I was expecting to see. I would have liked more if they kind of dove into the character's alcoholism. They dip into it a little bit. You see her fucking swinging, and you have someone be like, "Oh, you look at you, you're fucking. I can smell the alcohol in your breath or something." It's really, that's all surface level. It's a really interesting layer, and for a self-destructive habit for a character that's apparently also like really damn good at their job, but also consistently like destroying themselves. That's one of my favorite aspects about characters in general. Definitely, I would have liked them to dive a little deeper with Montoya. Otherwise, she fucking badass. Plus, you have Rosie Perez. Come on. Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Huntress is, without a doubt, one of my favorite things about this movie. She's got the least amount of screen time, I think, amongst all the birds or whatever. And she brings this curiosity with, like, a great amount of, like, actual character weight that I wish that they actually fucking kind of shifted over more to, like, Black Canary, too. Because you clearly know how to do it. I just divide it a little bit, go fucking even. Plus, I also really liked the behind the scenes they showed of being a vigilante. You have to practice your badass lines in a mirror to get them just fucking right. You have people mistaking your name for something else, and that would fucking piss me off, I know that. And you have people thinking she's a dude, like a significant amount of the movie. I think that's a really, like, funny side to being a vigilante that they don't show. It's a funny, like, human side, because we're used to seeing people, turn on and turn off justice as a vigilante. But to see that human side really, really, really made it funny. Ellijay Bosco was solely in the movie to have to shit out a diamond. I mean, that's basically it. She's in the movie to do that. She's got the least amount of character weight. It's literally like a background, scream of adoptive parents who you can only assume don't love her and they don't care about her because she's going off with Harley this whole movie. It's clearly, there's just no, like, emotional weight or character weight. I feel nothing for it, honestly. My other complete favorite aspect of this movie was Chris Messina as Zaz. Holy shit, I didn't think I'd ever see a character adaptation that I fucking honestly, like, truly loved. He was creepy and he was goofy and he was full of, like, legitimate accuracies to the character that really matter for the character. I also really like the idea that they stuck with, that he's doing this henchman shit for Black Mask. Not just because Ewan McGregor looks damn fine in a silk robe, but also because he can kind of do his markings, like, as a hobby while he's doing that shit. When he talked about, like, I get to free the birds and I set them free from this world. That's like such a Zaz thing. And I was so happy that they included that. It's super just the character on screen, which is super rare. The physical scars and the eccentric attitude that Messina brought to the screen 100% made one of my favorite villain adaptations from comics and to movies ever. Ewan McGregor as Roman Sionis, not Sionis. Holy shit. That was itching my fucking head the entire movie. Sionis, not Sionis. It's like fucking watching Venom, hearing them say symbiote the whole fucking time. Jesus Christ. McGregor definitely brought one of the more unique takes on the character. You know, he's emotional and he's intense and consistently, like, you know, back and forth because, I mean, Harley does talk about, like, the legitimate, like, trauma he has and the daddy issues. It's fucking hilarious. It's intimidating. It's fucking, he commands the scene. And you almost, his unpredictability as the character alone really fucking, like, he glues your eyes to the screen. The way he went from good mood to bad mood, or, you know, good mood to bad mood over some arbitrary nonsense, like something vain, like a fucking snot bubble. It's exactly, I feel like, a way that Black Mask would be. You know, he's got this quick twitch fucking anger and he's super fucking intense. And then to have him have that extra layer that McGregor brings, I think specifically for the character, that he's very image obsessed, not just because of the fucking the Ewan McGregor's fucking, you know, beautiful, because that's what matters to him most is how you look, because, you know, dad never fucking cared or whatever. You know, he's got to represent this image for the city. I think the idea to turn Roman Sionis into this, you know, relentlessly bitchy but legitimately frightening force of evil was a major risk for the film, and it definitely pays off. Overall, this movie alone was 100% a risk for Warner Brothers to take with Kathy Yan and Christina Hodson and Margot Robbie. And I think it 100% works. It works really well for the type of movie it's trying to be, and it's not perfect, you know, but I don't think it was aiming for perfect. It was aiming for exactly what it was. And I guess in a sense, it's perfect for what it is, but, you know, don't compare shit, you know. After the response of, you know, Suicide Squad, both on the executive side and the audience side, where, you know, the executives had to, you know, seriously erase whatever plans Zack Snyder had for his, you know, timeline of the DCEU. And on the audience side of some people, I mean, I like Suicide Squad. Some people liking it, a lot of people fucking hating it. I'm just surprised more that this movie actually got made and was 100% itself. It doesn't seem like there's any interference. It seems like they set out to make this movie that we are watching. And that's really fucking special. That's one of my favorite things about the movie, is that it's different and it's fucking weird and it's 100% itself. And that's just super rare, you know? And that is my review of Birds of Prey and the ridiculously long fucking title. Just call it The Emancipation of Harley Quinn. I mean, it's not really Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey happens at the end. Hopefully we'll get to see more of those fucking characters. I fucking hope so. What did you think about it? You know, comment below. I want to hear literally everything, because this is a movie that I want to have conversations about, because it's so fun and weird and freaky and strange and a lot of other fucking synonyms. But yeah, comment below, you know. Like, subscribe. See you next time.